You know, we all have that one special dog hanging out on the porch. He's just a little bit of this and a little bit of that. All these things you like coming together to make one superb dog. That was exactly what we had in mind when we made this show. Welcome to All Mixed Up. Chad Reynolds, this is the first time I went to record anything with you where my face, it is hurting from laughing.
Yeah. That was a good day, man. That was a good one.
Oh my gosh. You guys, we got a great episode of All Mixed Up for you this month. Chad, he's been known to bring on great guests, and he delivered again. This guy is hilarious and is talking about his first time hunting with Chad, which, as everybody knows, Chad's a crazy man. So anyway, I'm still reeling from it. My eyes are kind of glazed and my cheeks are like sore right now. I just, if
you're in for some comedic excellence, that's the part I like. Yeah, facts are fun and stories are great, but like this is, if you get cracked up by funny hunting stories at all, here you go.
This guy is just, he's ridiculous. I mean, it's just great. I can't wait for you guys to hear it. I'm still kind of chuckling. We'll talk about it after the episode. There's so much to I want to cover after we play his segment here, but I guess we'll start how we always start with All Mixed Up. Chad, how you been, bro? Because I got lots of stuff to kind of let the Houndsman XP world know once a month, and I want to start with you, buddy. What you been up to?
Oh man, did a great upland hunting trip here recently. Traveled around a little bit. Went up north. Hunted some sharp-tailed grouse, huns, and sage grouse. And I've hunted huns before, but the sharp-tail and the sage grouse were kind of new to me. And that all went great, man. It was one of those trips, you know how you prepare a lot, and it's almost like the harder you work to get ready, sometimes you're almost like, I'm overhandling this. It's, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get out there and it's gonna be fun, but like I'm expecting too much. Not this time, man. It all worked out. You know, like I was prepared and I got some luck on my side, and I happened to put my dogs down in the right place, you know, and just everything lined up perfect for me, you know, like, dude. And I got to see my brand new puppy, Dandy.
I was gonna ask about Dandy.
Oh yeah, I can't not talk about him.
Look
man.
At this guy's smile.
Yeah, that'll pull it out of me for sure. He did great, man. He did fantastic. Like at least where we were hunting, in the areas we were hunting, the huns had been pushed around a little bit and were kind of touchy, you know. So like if the dog crowded the birds a little bit at all, put any kind of pressure on them, didn't stop far enough away for the point, they just up and go, you know. Or even if you, like, they were on point and you ran up there too fast, just to, you know, the pitter patter on the ground would cause them to flood, you know. So we were kind of having trouble. And that rascal went out there and picked up 3 singles of a covey that we were just slowly pushing, and like one of them would stop, you know, and he'd point that and we'd go like another, it seems like 300 yards. And you're like wondering, like, can they even go that far? But like he was tracking them the whole dang time with that nose down stuff, you know. And then he'd lock up and we'd be like, all right, you know, and we go in there and we'd stomp around, and like, even in one of the videos, my buddy's like, nah, man. And then he took another step and boom, there it goes. And we shot it. Man. Little puppy went and got it and brought it back, you know. And then we moseyed down this row a little bit more. And then all of a sudden he puts his nose down harder and tracks out into this clear-cut crop field where they were growing some, just some crops. And had clear-cut it, and now there was down to nothing. So you could see across the whole thing, you know. And he's tracking out there back and forth and stopping. You know, and then I ease up behind him like, no, there's nothing here. And then he moves ahead like another 15 feet and stops, you know, and I'm just eating it up. My heart's like, yeah, dude, in my chest, you know. And then I'm like, what am I doing? There's nothing out here. And he goes out another like 20 feet that time and locks up hard. And I'm like, well, that looks pretty stylish. I need to go look, you know. And on my way there, one of them gets up and runs, and it was like 5 feet in front of him. He was staring at these things.
Whoa.
He sight pointed, man. So he tracked them all out there on his nose alone, and then saw them and locked up. And I don't expect most of my dogs to hold point on like a visibly running bird, let alone my 5-month-old puppy. So he broke and we shot one out of there and that went good. And then we moseyed down a little bit more and got into another one and shot that one and then proceeded to shoot another 3 sharp-tailed grouse. So this little pup in no time at all put up, multiple coveys, multiple birds. We shot 6 of them for him.
And at 5 months old.
5 months, and not like 5 months and 29 days, like 5 months, 2 days, like a young puppy, So that all went great. Super happy about that. Dog Griff did good and got on some good stuff with him. And my old dog Haggis, he did fine. He was playing supporting roles through the whole stuff. Like I hunted him most days, so he was getting burnt out a little bit and wasn't ranging as far as he normally does, which worked out because we kept. Like some other dogs were like way out, and because he had been hunted most days, he was kind of burned a little bit. So he was hunting closer, but we were able to sharpshoot some stuff that some of the other dogs might have missed with him, and he was doing good. But then on the very end of the day, just to top it all off, we stopped at one more place and we're like, let's try and get some sage grouse. And I've never even seen one before, seen plenty of sharptail, everything else, but never sage grouse for whatever reason. And we took a limit. A 3-person limit over Haggis that day.
Dang, over Haggis. Man.
Yeah. Afterwards, my buddy's dog that was down on the ground too, we found more, and that was the cool part. We got the limit shot, and then we're like working our way back to the truck, and then like Haggis was finding more, and Haggis was finding more, and then my buddy's dog started finding them. So every dog got to contribute, was like finding and pointing these things that are very elusive, sometimes, at least when I hunt them, they're hard to find and keep pointed, but like they're like turkeys. They're big damn birds, so you shoot them, and like Haggis is bringing it back, and it's like all you see is his nose sticking out of this like 5-gallon fucking size wad of feathers, and they put them in your bag, and you're like, gosh, it's like a cur dog I got in my hunting vest here where the birds, So anyway, I couldn't be happier, man. My wife went and shot a lot of birds for her first time seeing them, and she shot them in flight. That was
awesome.
Great.
Wow.
I got to pack my daughter around. We stuffed her in the hunting vest, and she came behind with us. And my good friend Yubi was helping us out. And he's hunted just about everything everywhere, and he was unfamiliar to this area, but going into it, we had a little bit more of his experience to kind of get us pointed in the right direction. Then as a group, we all really kind of pinpointed where everything was. So it was really nice, man. It was nice. We got into the bird. So that trip went fantastic, and came back and just working my butt off ever since,
Oh, man. Yeah. You can see it in my face, man. I've been going 100 miles an hour, not having fun, working all.
Is that right?
Yeah. No fun. Trust me. I got my dogs out one time so far this season, and I couldn't even find a hair. It sucked, dude.
Yeah.
We walked probably 2 hours, and we walked about 5 miles. Couldn't find one. So that's live.
Is that right?
Yeah. But hey, yeah, I got a deer hunt coming up soon, so I'm really looking forward to that. That's going to be really fun.
Is that right?
Yep. And then I got my flintlock. I'm going to try to go out and find one and get another one down. That would be my 4th with my flinter out here. So, it's a good time, but it's tough, but and then it's all dogs for the rest of the year. So I'm looking forward to it. It's still hot, man. It's going to be 91 tomorrow. So it's just horrible. There's supposed to be like, I guess there's a like a typhoon, like a super typhoon that's like parked in the Bay of Alaska. And so it's pushing a high pressure system like right over the Southwest. So like California, Arizona, New Mexico, Nevada, Utah, they're getting like warm weather right now in certain places. So, and that's us right now. It's just horrible. So anyway, once it cools down, gotcha. I'm after those rabbits. They better be eating their Wheaties, putting on the track shoes, because we're coming. I got some out of shape dogs that are going to scare them a bunch, and then we'll be getting serious. So can't wait. Right. And while you were hunting in Montana, the Houndsman XP crew, part of it, me, Ed, Tanner, and Chris were in the Gila hunting bears. And I'll give a little spoiler alert, you guys. It was awesome. So if you pay attention to Ed's and Tanner's social media, they posted some great pictures from it. It was great. Mm-hmm. We were treeing bears.
It looks like a great time. You guys had a blast, huh?
We did, man. And it was in my backyard. It was woods that I grew up hunting in and being in all the time. So that made it extra special to get out there. And so, huge shout out to our friends, BB Ranch Hounds. They helped give me some tips, because I'm not a bear hunter, man. I know I know what a bear is and I know where a bear lives, but not like a bear hunter does. So BB Ranch Hounds, those guys gave us Ross Blackwelder and Mr. Hibbets. They gave us a freaking bunch of really good advice, and it really paid off for us. So couldn't have done it without their help. So huge, like I said, just a massive shout out to those guys. Those are some top notch fellas, and I will be hunting with them definitely if they'll have me. They invited me, so stay tuned, guys. There's gonna be some good footage from that.
There you go. Some more bear hunts, man.
Bear and lion. So still want to see
Nice.
a lion tree and one in my home state. That's going to be extra special, just like seeing these.
Bet.
Yeah. So stay tuned, you guys. The recap episode for that is going to be coming out, and it's going to be really good because everyone is mega psyched. And obviously I was too. So I'm grinning more about talking about bear hunting than hare hunting. Chad, what's going on here?
It's just because you haven't got on a good race yet. The second you get a good race, you'll be back to your rabbits, man.
I'm imagining what a hare looks like right now. I haven't seen one. It feels like in 5 months. So
oh gosh, that's my
well. I mean, I've seen them around, but not the same. It's just not the same. So, But yeah, man, I say, hey, let's stop keeping these fans waiting. Let's roll right into this one, man. It's just too good. I want to get them right to it.
Get your popcorn, man. Let's get ready to laugh.
Hey, be careful, though. Don't make a choking hazard. This dude's great.
All right, everybody. Got Chad Reynolds and Seth Hall here. We're joined by Jeff Nader, all the way from the East Coast. All the fun hog hunting stories from the past went over really well, so we figured we'd have to bring Jeff in to share some good times with us. How y'all doing today?
I'm good,
we
brother.
are doing fairly well. How are you?
Just fine.
I'm always good, Chad. You know, it's just good. It's good to be alive. It's finally cooling down. The weather's getting better. It's time to start knocking on the doors of some hares. You know what I mean?
Right. What, Jeff? What do you got planned for the day?
Today is actually my Saturday. So my plan for today is to chop it up with you boys, and then when the kids get home, do some dad shit.
Right.
That's pretty.
Good stuff.
Yeah, that works out pretty good. No, I'm gonna do the opposite of that. I think I'm going to hang out with my best buddy who's like in the other room on the computer working right now, and then I'm probably going to hang out on my patio, drink copious amounts of beer, and probably do nothing. So
Is that right?
yeah, it sounds pretty good actually.
I'm hoping to go hunt some ducks here as soon as we get off. Actually,
Of the three,
Chad,
I think, yeah.
Chad, I gotta be honest, man. Every time you're into something new, every time we hang out or every time I talk to you, and it's I'm gonna hunt this, I'm gonna go hunt that. Next time you'll be trapping mice, or you'll be out. I don't know. I tell the story how we went hog hunting. They're like, "Oh wow, that's so crazy." I'm like, "That's crazy." And then I tell him, hunting mountain lions, or he's out hunting bears, where he has a hawk that lives with him and just like sits, goes hunting. Like, it's always something new, man.
The variety's the spice of life, man.
This
100%.
is why we have Chad Reynolds on Houndsman XP. You know what I'm saying? He's a crazy man. He's a crazy man.
It's fun.
He's like,
coot season just started too. What's that?
So you're so opposite of me. Like, your life is always like an exotic car, and my life is like a minivan.
Should we start calling him Chad Exotic?
Chad Exotic for him.
It'd be
And
good
then if he was exotic, he'd be hunting with those tigers.
yeah, he would. Actually, he would train hunting tigers.
It was funny you say that because I had a buddy. We were talking about the logistics of hunting with the cheetah. I know we've mentioned it before, Seth, but from what I'm hearing is depending on the state, like the permits can be as cheap as like $25.
Oh,
you could buy a cheetah for like $3,000 to $6,000.
What?
I mean, that's not too far off. If I get Jeff's minivan and put that cheetah in it, like we could roll up after some jackrabbits and just open the door, man. It'd be great.
It's a good thing I live in South Georgia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Georgia.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, I mean, it's been done. And the same places I hunt with my greyhounds and Salukis, a dude ran a cheetah there in the 50s. So it has been done. And apparently, people in India and stuff raised, they had like whole, what they called stables of hunting of hunting cheetahs. And like Mughal emperors like ran them like crazy. So
dude,
we're not as original.
Don't give him any ideas, man. Don't give him any more.
Yeah.
Poor Ashley.
Poor
Ashley. I gotta build another barn. I gotta build another barn. I gotta have cheetah stables.
Hey, Jeff, why don't you introduce yourself, brother? Tell us a little about yourself. Chad's not the only interesting one around here, and I was pretty excited when he told me you were going to be on.
Oh man, I'm from Michigan, west side of Michigan. I'm from about like 12 minutes away from where Steve Ranella is from, actually. So the same woods that he grew up hunting is actually very similar to where I grew up hunting. Although I hunted like a normal man, not the way like you and Chad hunt, where you have other animals help you. A lot of public land out there, so we'd walk out, sit in a stand somewhere, which is what I thought it was going to be when I went pig hunting with Chad. I thought we were just going to relax, sit in the stand, chop it up a little bit, tell some stories. That's not at all what happened. But in my background, I joined the military, same as Chad, pretty quick out of school. I was in the infantry for a few years. And then when I decided to get out, there's only a few lines of work you can pick from that. So I ended up going into air traffic control, which is what I do now. And then while doing that, I started training in the military doing like jiu-jitsu, and then that branched into doing MMA. And then when I got out, I fought professionally in MMA. I had my last few fights in Bellator. I was, fairly decent. I wasn't going to do anything with it, but I did do that for a few years. And then I stopped doing that to continue my work in air traffic down in Texas, that brought me down to Texas, where I'm at now. And then while here, I wasn't able to compete anymore. I actually got into doing stand-up comedy a little bit, some sort of hobby to, take the place of doing MMA. And then I got into the hobby of making babies. And so now I got a few kids, and I do the dad life now, man.
I want to, if you don't mind, send us a picture or like a highlight picture of you in Bellator when you were like at your peak. And I want to ask the Houndsman XP world if they think that me and Chad together could kick your ass.
I
get a dog.
In my prime, I think so. But right now, he would probably have his hunting cheetahs get on me first.
With the dog, I think we do all right. And minus the dog, we're
in one corner.
A
You have a professional fighter. In the other corner, you have a rat nerd and a dwarf from Lord of the Rings.
With a wild jungle cat, and then probably a hawk swooping in from the skies.
Gouge your eyes out. It's just like, oh man, that's hilarious. That's awesome. I just did MMA as a hobby, really. I had no aspirations to go anywhere. We've already covered that I'm a nerd, so I had a great time doing it. But like I said, if you ever just want a dust off match where you just want to feel strong again, you can come kick crap out of me. So,
dude, if I saw you at a bar, I don't think I would mess with you. Dwarf
yeah, you
not.
would. Trust me. I got pencil legs.
You got a man's beard. That's a perfect beard.
Oh well, no, it's really just getting gray and sad. It was more luxurious like 5 years ago. One day.
I'm trying, but I got this like high school cheek thing going on over here. Like it looks like I rubbed some ashes on my cheeks, but that's it. I got this down here.
You got 5 o'clock ashes.
He's got a nice poverty beard coming in.
Yeah, I would say an average poverty beard, actually. I don't know about nice. We're still reaching a little bit there.
You got a West Virginia beard.
There you go.
That's fitting. Hey, we got a lot of West Virginia fans, so that's a badge of honor here. Let me ask you something, Jeff. Did you Have you ever been pig hunting before you went out with this crazy guy?
No, I did. I mean, so I was living up in the Boston area, and they don't have pigs up there like that. So yeah, I'm aware that pigs exist and that some of them are wild and that they live in the woods. But I don't know. So, dude, Chad's one of my favorite people on planet Earth because he's so wild, man. So wild. If you just compare him to like who I hang out with, like when I describe him, people don't believe that he's a real person, or they think that I'm exaggerating a bit. And so I tell a story about hunting with him, and I really kind of they laugh, but like I feel like they're kind of looking at me like, he does comedy. He's kind of like playing it up. But I also feel Chad is a lot smarter than that beard lets on, because when he was describing, we talked about it. I'm always wanting to go visit him, man. And we, hey, come on down. We're gonna go. I moved to Houston, and so I'm only like 5.5 hours away. So it was perfect. We talked about it. Yeah, come on up. We'll set something up. And it was also deer season too. And so I told the wife, like, all right, I'm gonna go hang out with Chad. She knows Chad. She loves Chad too. And so he told me, we're gonna hunt pigs. We'll just kind of hang out. He went into no details on how this thing was going to go down. So in my head, just from growing up in Michigan, we're going to sit in a tree, maybe on a bait pile. Pig is going to walk in, and then I'm going to blow I'm going to blow its head off, or I'm going to shoot it in through the heart or something, and boom, pig hunting, right? But that is way, way not how that process goes down here. But I think he purposely didn't explain that, because how do you tell someone that's how when you describe, we're going to have dogs, they're going to grab it, you're going to dive into the middle of this dog pile, grab onto a wild pig by its legs. How do you describe that to a human and not, have them completely change?
Yeah, and not run off.
Yep. Yeah, no, man. No, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
So I was, they would expect, I just, you go ahead. I'll be back at the camp doing women's work. And I'll make sure you stop.
That's awesome.
I can make a nice stew. I can make some soup or something,
Have a nice vegetarian stew waiting for us.
Stack the hell out of these sticks. They will be like ready.
You haven't had celery until you've had my celery, okay? But so I'm just, I leave, I drive up there, I get there. It's always good to see him. But the last time I saw him, so when I met Chad, the girl I was dating actually had a couple of protection dogs. She had a Malinois, she had a German Shepherd, and she comes back one day, we're living together, and she's like, "Oh, I met this guy. He was in the Army too, and he's a dog trainer." And so I'm immediately like, "Oh yeah, you just randomly met a guy, huh?" And I meet Chad. I live with the dog too, so I got to do, training with them as well, so that I know what I'm doing with the dogs also. I meet up with Chad, and at first I'm a little suspicious, but he's a dog nerd, man. He's all about the dogs, and her dogs are like real protection dogs, so he is all about that. And that's how I met him. But when I knew him in New England, he was just a dog guy, protection dog. That's all he did. He'd go hunting occasionally, but like, that's all he did. And so I'm thinking that's all he's doing in Louisiana. So I don't know anything about these catch dogs. I don't know nothing about any of that. I'm essentially like a city boy who occasionally did some hunting, growing up. So I drive up there. He always stops me at the door. All right, you know the deal. Gitmo's in the house. I don't know. Gitmo's his old protection dog, house dog, protection dog, murderous psychopath, fluffy, lovely. One of the best dogs ever, really. And so, back then, Gitmo's job is house protection, man. So we had the same process every time. I've met Gitmo 1,000 times now. We always got to do the same thing. Make Gitmo sit, open the front door. Gitmo sees me, instantly has murder on the mind. He has to see Chad let me in the house, invite me in, see that everything's cool. Maybe me and Chad shake hands real quick. and now everything's cool. And then he'll just tell Gitmo, all right, in Slovakian or whatever language he speaks, everything's cool. Gitmo's over there sniffing on you, loving on you, and then he's a great dog. But it's always been the same process. But when I'm coming into his house in Louisiana this time, and there's Gitmo in there sitting on the floor waiting, to see what's up. And then there's this gigantic hawk, like sitting in the middle of his dining floor. And that's so incredibly random. Who does that? Who does that? So, like, there's a protection attack dog, and then a wild hawk, giant bird, and I'm just like, why would you not even it's like so natural to him, so normal that he didn't even give me like a preparatory statement. Hey, just when you go in, there's gonna be a big old bird sitting there on the floor, like nothing. That's like how wild he is, man. It's like, oh yeah, no biggie. That's just my hunting hawk. This dude's like, what?
If Chad has a Tinder profile picture, like if Chad ever is on Tinder again, he's gonna be like, caution for my hawk, like on this front page.
It would say something like, looking for a girl who knows how to skin animals, knows how to quarter a deer. Like it would say something, knows how to feed a wild hawk. You know what I mean? Like, it would be the wildest. I would like to make one for him, actually.
We should. Houndsman XP Universe, make Chad a Tinder profile picture, or Tinder profile, and Photoshop his head on Joe Exotic's body.
It's just, he's like, but that's normal to him, but it's just so like abnormal to like the everyday minivan driving typical average American person, right? But he didn't even, it's like so normal to him, he didn't even think to give me like a heads up. Hey, next to that attack dog is a wild attack hawk.
Hawk.
So we come in there and he's like, yeah, hey, you want to hold it? And I'm like, well, where did you get this thing? How does one come by a hawk? Oh, I trapped it. Like, dude, what? And so we're like hanging with this hawk. I can't believe it. This thing's on my arm. It's just insanity. Anyway, so I tell him like, hey man, I had a vasectomy like 5 days ago. Are we gonna be, we're gonna be all right to hunt, right? Oh yeah. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. Next day we get up and load everything up. We're putting horses in this horse cart to tow with us, which I found very weird because I've been hunting a lot of times for deer. I don't remember bringing any horses. I don't remember running them down and like lassoing them, man. So we're loading them up, and I'm just like, this is weird. Anyway, here you go, horsey, into the trailer. We load dogs up for some reason. No explanation. We talked a little bit about catch dogs. I thought, okay, the dogs are going to catch them, I guess. Whatever. We get out there, everything set up. Get the horses situated. One horse has a saddle, one doesn't, which is really weird to me. This one's yours. And I don't know if everybody knows, Chad has like some Native American blood in him. He's really embraced that side of his, lineage, I guess. We get everything loaded up. He's like, all right, this is what's going to happen. We're going to let the dogs go. They're going to get out there. They're going to be smelling for something. You hop up on your horse. And I'm still processing that I haven't ridden a horse since I was like 8 at like the carnival, So he's telling me this. I get up on my horse. He's on his horse, no saddle, like a saddle. The dogs are going to go. As soon as they start barking, they're on something, and we're going to get going after them. And I'm like, okay, fine. We get, the dogs get going. They're immediately on something. And he goes, all right, here we go. And then he just lets out this like crazy, like Indian warrior yell, like, and just 100 miles an hour through the field on this horse. I don't even know how to make a horse go.
You're like, please go, horsey.
He goes. I'm like, dude, Chad, come back. The dogs are out baying. He says something. He shouts something over his shoulder. I don't even remember what it was. Maybe like riding instructions. Maybe I don't know. He rides to the woods. I'm on this horse that has no interest. But also before we get going, he goes, "Hey," and he just throws this out real quick before he sprints off. That horse can get a little ornery. If she feels like you don't know what you're doing, she's gonna try to buck you. And I was like, "Hold on, what?" Boom, gone. Dude, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't belong up there. I'm not flexible, so most cowboys, their legs kind of conform to the side of the horse. My legs are sticking straight out like that because I don't ride horses because I'm a normal human being.
Horse, begin.
Yeah.
Begin. Walk.
I no reaction. I think I like bumped my hips a little bit. And so I seen enough movies. We've all seen movies. You have to spur this thing in the ribs. And so I gave it one little yuckup, and she starts like walking. I'm like, all right, we can walk out there. We'll see what happens. And I can hear Chad. He's kind of fading away a little bit. I hear the dogs are kind of fading away a little bit. I'm just like, oh man, we gotta get going. So I give it one more little yak up in the ribs, and that thing bucked me about 6 feet straight up in the air. I went straight up in the air, come straight back down, and I landed bullseye square on the pommel of that saddle.
Oh.
My freshly nuts.
Oh.
And I gotta tell you, that was wildly uncomfortable.
Oh my God.
I'm this horse. I'm like, screw this, man. I run maybe twice a week. So I'm like, I'm just gonna run out there. And but I didn't want to leave the horse because it was, it's a few hundred acres that we're on. And so as I'm running, I have the horse by the reins. I'm jogging through this field, leading this horse like I'm walking it. And me and this horse jogging through a field. We pull up in some bushes. I hear Chad hollering for me. And we get to the top, and he's like, the pig's got one set up. Tie your horse up and come on down. And I'm like, man, I don't know what that means. What does that mean? Tie the horse up. So I just looped the reins like over this bush that I was standing next to. And I come running down, and they get the dogs got this pig backed up into the like a berm along the side of this river. And I get to the top of this river. Now, we didn't do any practice. He didn't say this is the sequence of events when the dogs get to a pig. He just said we're going pig hunting. So I have no idea what to do. And so I get to the top of this riverbank. I know at some point I'm going to stab a pig. So at the top of this river, the dogs are down there tussling with this pig. And he's like, all right, get down here, grab the back of the pig's legs, throw it on his side, and get ready to stab it. And in my brain, I'm like, what? What? Grab its leg, bro. So I don't know why. I've never done this, but I pull my knife out way prematurely. I pull my knife out, standing at the top of this riverbank, and I come trotting down to this riverbank, slip and fall because I have no idea what I'm doing. Slice my thumb open, get down to the.
Oh.
I'm right-handed. The knife is in my right hand, but I'm right-handed, and I come up on the pig, and the dog's got it sort of cornered. And he's like, all right, I'm gonna let this dog go. Dog's gonna grab a pig, and then you come in behind and grab the legs. And he didn't even give me time to like respond. I would have went like, no, hold on. Wait a minute. What? I was physically unprepared. I was mentally unprepared, and I was way emotionally unprepared for how this was supposed to go.
Oh my God.
And so you let the dog go, dude. That dog hit that dude. It was like watching a linebacker hit a running back, dude. It was like, what? Grabbed onto that thing. That pig started making like wild, like medieval noises, dude. And he's like, hey, that dog's got a hold of that pig, man. They're tussling. This is like a prehistoric like battle that's going on. Chad, I look up to Chad. Chad's like a manly man. Everybody wants to be a manly man. Chad is that guy for real. And I don't want to disappoint him. But also, I don't want to get jacked up by this pig because I have to go back to work. He's like, grab the back legs. And I way don't want to do this anymore. I want to tell him, like, hey, I'm going to cheer for you. You go ahead and get that pig.
That's what I did. Back here. That's straight up what I did.
Dude, I'm going to clap. I'm going to cheer you on. I'm going to hope for the best. I'm going to tell you that you're doing great. But I'm not. Dude, I don't want to grab this pig, man. But he's just like, no, get in there. And like, dude, I don't want to let him down, man. So I had to grapple with those feelings for a second to decide, what am I going to do? So I ended up getting in there and I grabbed the legs and I'm trying to tell myself, like, hey, man, you are a combat veteran, bro. You better get in there and stop being soft. But also, I got to go to work. I'm also at this time, I'm 30 years old, man. All my joints don't work right anymore. I don't know if I want to, injure myself anymore. But I got in there, I grabbed the legs, and I lifted them up. And then the terror set in. And I was like, dude, I'm holding the legs of a wild animal that is really pissed off right now. That dog had that thing. That dog was not letting go. And I had that thing. And if that dog did let go, I thought for sure that pig was going to get me, man. And it was a big one. It was a pretty decent sized pig for my first one. Mm-hmm. So I whipped that thing down onto the side, and I put my knee on its side so it couldn't stand up. But the problem was, and I don't know why my brain just would not work. I had the knife in my right hand, but I needed to have the knife in my left hand. And I just was like, how do I get this knife from my right hand to my left hand? I can't figure it out. And all I had to do was hand it over. But dude, there was just so much going on. There was so much like stimulation in the moment. The pig was squealing like crazy. The dog, as soon as the pig hit the ground, all the dogs were on it. Dude, it was terrifying. It was really terrifying.
It's crazy.
I gotta be honest, dude. Whenever I tell that story, I tell people, dude, I am not a soft man. I'm not a soft man. I've been in a lot of fist fights for money, dude. I still train. I still coach. I'm not a soft man. But in that moment, I was like, bro, I just want to go home. I just want to be at home with my babies.
With my babies. That's hilarious.
It was a good pig, too.
How big was it?
Pig, man. Hey, it was. I'll tell you how big it was. It was way too big for my first one.
And that makes you feel any better. I ran up on my first pig and it was like 45 pounds. And I was like, nah, I'm just going to watch. I'm just going to let this guy do it all. I'm not doing this. Like, and it was like the size of like a javelina. You know what I mean? I was like, yeah, I'm good. So, hey, you did better than me, bro.
Dude, you could have picked that thing up by the cuff and just walked it to the barbecue.
Exactly. No dogs needed. I could have just grabbed him. It was pretty hilarious.
Dude, so I was completely unprepared for all of this. And no, I did zero research. I didn't look it up at all. I thought it was suspicious that he didn't want me to bring a gun. No, you don't need to bring a gun. I got guns, but we don't need guns. And I was like, that's a really weird statement for you to say when we're going pig hunting. I don't need to bring guns. And I didn't make sense of it. Dude, it was wild. And so then while it's down, he's like, all right, he's like, yeah, stab it in the heart. And I'm like, thinking to myself, dude, where's a pig's heart at?
Where's the pig's heart at?
Dude, I know it's not in his butthole, but like, I know the rural area of where a heart is on most animals, but like to stick this knife point into this pig, I really don't know.
Like where? Yeah.
I was still so terrified. And I remember holding that thing and like I didn't want to let him down. But also I didn't want to be there no more. And I was like, it was coming in like real slow. And dude, I put that knife in there. I was just like, ugh, and I stabbed in that pig. That pig made the most horrendous noises I've ever heard in my life. And I think at some point, I might even have like a little PTSD from it. Like if I went to the VA right now, they would ask me, where do you think your PTSD come from? Is it from your deployment to Iraq? I would say, no, it's from Chad.
Wasn't there something about like, how do I know I hit it? I'm like, does it feel like you put your hand in like a hot 5-gallon bucket of water? You know, like that's generally when you know you hit the right spot.
So I go into the heart, and he's like, wiggle it around a little bit. And I'm just like, that feels so mean. I do that, and I remember feeling like I'm 6. I'm like, did I do it?
Did I do it? Oh man,
but dude, I tell you what though, the wildest thing, and I told this story a bunch of times. I tell you, dude, the wildest thing. Afterwards, yeah, it's got to sound so corny to say this, but like, dude, that's how people were hunting like 10,000 years ago, man.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I was like, dude, I'm like proud of myself a little bit, but I'm thinking also, dude, Chad fit right in with those people 10,000 years ago.
They wouldn't even be able to tell him apart. You know what I'm saying? He looks like a caveman right now.
Well, they would probably think his beard is a little suspect, but beyond that.
Yeah, I'd agree.
I think 10,000 years ago, you have like a woman's beard.
Yeah,
that would be his tribal name, woman's beard.
It would say that Washington pretty good at hunting.
Yeah.
Good squaw.
Dude, it was completely wild. But as soon as we got done, dude, I felt pretty wild. I felt pretty accomplished. You know, everybody remembers getting like their first deer. They remember their first rabbit. First time they shot anything, a lot of times it's like a squirrel or rabbit or something. And everybody remembers it. And I look back on that fondly as my first murder.
My first murder. Let me ask you something. Would you do it again?
We did do it again. We did it. We got that one, and then we got 2 more, and then I went back up when Chad put on his Pigs vs. Patriots charity hunt. It was a veterans thing that he did, which he had a great idea. He did a lot of work, set everything up, coordinated everything, got some other people involved, and he got a lot of veterans that came in, guys that he knew, and everybody got to go out and get a pig. And Chad got to do what he loved to do, which is horrify people.
Normally he doesn't do that with his face.
Yeah,
that beard. That's like a therapy thing where you can take people who have PTSD from the military and give them PTSD from something else to completely wash that out.
Oh, that's funny.
You like to give back, you know? Like to give back.
To the psychiatric community.
Yeah, exactly. Here's a case study. Enjoy.
Dude, I tell you, but another, so we got 3 pigs that day. The second pig that we got, same scenario. I'm basically jogging because I'm not riding this horse. The horse don't like me, which, by the way, when you tether or tie off a horse to a bush, the horse don't stay. So I had to go track the horse down, who was on the other side of the field, grazing peacefully with a bush dragging along in his reins. So I think we had to put the horse back. And I told Chad, hey man, I'm fine just jogging, bro. You ride the horse, catch up to you, man.
So how long until you told Chad that she bucked you off and you crushed your vasectomy nuts?
I don't remember. I do remember, you know what I do remember? I remember the feeling of telling him and getting exactly 0 sympathy from him about it.
He just gave you a 10,000-year-old grunt, and you had to keep hunting. He was just like, keep hunting.
Chad, I'm really hurt. He's like, Tatanka.
Good time.
So one time, you want to talk about inferior horsemanship? One time, my wife and my mother-in-law went on a horse trail ride together, and they took off on the horses, and my mother-in-law was on her horse, and she has no clue how to ride a horse. She's like a little viejita and like a little old lady, and she got on her horse, and the whole horse train takes off, and my mother-in-law is sitting on her horse, and she's like, all right, horsey, let's go. And the horse like turns around and leaves, but all the people on the trail ride don't notice. And my wife was like, where's my mom? And so they had to turn around and go look for her. What happened was the horse just turned around and walked back to the barn and was just eating hay in the barn with my mother-in-law just sitting on its back, like in the barn while the horse is eating hay. And that's what I was imagining. You're just like, all right, horsey, let's go. And it's like, nah.
That horse knew instantly that I had no business sitting on it. And what that horse wanted to do, that horse could have done, and there was nothing that I was going to do about it. If he had called me on the phone and been like, dude, we're on the pig. Where are you? I'd be like, we're grazing right now.
We're crazy. Yeah.
We are strong, independent women. We do our own thing.
Oh, my God. Yeah, that's all I could think of the whole time is you and my mother-in-law just grazing together. Like,
yeah. And then maybe doing dishes while you guys are out doing all the killing.
Oh, my God. My face hurts. That's a great story. My God.
Great times.
Dude, I tell you, so I was going to say, so the second pig that we got, I still have no idea what I'm doing. Like, I got one, but like, by no means am I a pig hunter. But the second one that we got on, they chased him, got him cornered. The pig busts out, and then it takes off again. And it goes into this pond, and it's swimming across this pond, which is completely wild to me. Dogs are chasing it. So dogs, they're like so smart, but they're also so dumb at the same time. Dogs go in the water after it. Instead of maybe running around to the other side, the dogs get in the water. They're like ducks in this flying V swimming at the pig. There was all this chaos going on. They were just on it. The pig is grunting and growling and trying to get at the dogs. The dogs are on it, barking and baying and growling. And there's all this noise going on. And Chad's cheering them on. And I'm fighting back tears and all this stuff. And then the pig gets into the water and the dogs get in the water. And all you can hear, now it's silent. All you can hear is this pig breathing heavy as it's swimming across this pond. These dogs breathing heavy as it's chasing after this pig. And you just hear like birds chirping. And it was the wildest thing because there was just chaos going on. And now they're all just like swimming and breathing like fat chicks at the bar. And I'm like, and I know that the first one didn't go smoothly. My thumb is still bleeding from the first one where I cut my finger open doing way not good hunter stuff, So I'm like, I gotta make this up. Yeah, I have an idea. God. I'm gonna go on the other side of the pond, and when the pig comes out, I'm gonna be there waiting for it. Which, in hindsight, is a horrible idea. I know what I'm doing still. So I run around and I get to the other side of the pond, and this pig is like swimming toward me. I thought, well, when I get here, it's gonna steer it away from me and maybe come out to the side of the pond where some of the other dogs are. I'm gonna head it off at the pass kind of thing. And that pig sees me, and it does not turn, doesn't even slow down. It just continues to like swim toward me. And so I got my knife, and I'm like, I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you. This pig keeps coming, and I'm like, oh shit, man. I don't think this pig be. And then I realized, like, dude, what am I doing, man? There's nothing here to like protect me. Like if this pig like gets like to the ground, this thing's gonna like gore me and like flip me up in the air. And I'm like, ah, shit, this was a stupid idea. So now there's nowhere for me to go. But I'm thinking I'm going to hide behind this tree. The pig comes out. It's going to run like past me. But thankfully, the dog swim pretty good. The dog got kind of like up on the pig. Because the dog's legs are longer, it got to ground kind of at the same time. So the dog that came out gave it a good little bite, and it took its attention kind of off me, and it sort of zipped off through the woods. But, dude, it just was a crazy moment to go from all that chaos to just listening to them breathing all heavy and all, like, peaceful for, like, just a second.
The birds chirping.
It's like a beautiful, yeah, it was like, that's like your Zen moment right there.
Yeah, it was wild, man. I've never heard a pig just breathing heavy from like effort. You know what I mean? The pig is, if you think about it, it's fighting for its life right now. And so like it's that sort of ancient little dance between hunter and prey kind of thing. And then, because I don't know what I'm doing, I put myself right out in front of it,
Yeah. You're going to be a human catch dog. Yeah.
I remember like throwing the knife from hand to hand. I'm going to get you.
Oh man, that's great. That is so funny. I just went out and observed my first time doing that kind of hunting exactly what you're doing. But luckily I had a huge pre-education, so I kind of knew what to expect. So nothing was really a shock to me. But damn, that is hilarious. And you never know what you're gonna get when you go hunting with Chad. He's crazy, man.
Dude, we went, my wife and kids and we did like a 25-day road trip. And we went out and visited Chad in Bleep. And on his land out there, they got a bunch of like prairie dogs and all kinds of wild stuff out there. But we had to before we got to Chad's house, I had to give my kids a briefing, like, hey, listen, you're gonna see a lot of crazy shit out here, okay?
And you can't have any of it.
So, we had to just give him a briefing. So, like, this is a old friend of your dad's. Your mom has met him. Like, good guy. You guys are going to like his wife. There's going to be some new experiences out here for you. My kids are city kids. So they got to shoot their first guns out there. They got to experience a lot of firsts out there at the wilderness of Chad's house.
That's awesome. Hey, if you ever want to come out and experience what we got down here, let me know, man. You're welcome to come out and run with us too. We got some crazy dogs, so it's a good time.
You're down there in Rhode Island, right?
Yeah. Yes, exactly. And we got those wide open expanses of rich people houses to hunt around. So
yeah.
Nothing beats hunting the wealthy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Purge style.
What would you use? What would be like a bait station for a wealthy person? Would you be like robust 401ks? Like here's a bear market, like, or so, I don't know what you would do, like hedge fund maybe.
What is it? The pumpkin spice coffees, right?
Yeah.
It could be, pumpkin spice would be good. You could also, I find, if you could pile up a bunch of hashtags, they love hashtags.
Yeah. And like maybe some rogue space exploration companies, maybe. Like yeah. I don't know.
Some offshore bank accounts, maybe?
Yes. Like have some Swedish people standing out there with like yes, no bank account here. I cannot do the Swedish accent. Sorry, everyone that's Swedish.
That was pretty good.
Everyone that's listening to this show, I apologize. I can only do the old guy from Family Guy. That's the only one I can do. And no, I'm not doing it now.
I was going to say, let's hear that. Is that the old pervert?
Yeah,
pervert,
that like the old muscly arms. That guy.
Dude, that was good, dude.
Oh, you didn't know I voiced him?
Yeah, no.
Oh, dude, you sound just like
You're welcome.
You know what? You when you do that voice, you sound the way Chad's beard looks.
Well, hey there, you majestic hawk, you. Oh my god. Oh dude. I can't even. My face hurts from this. Oh my God, Jeff, thank you. This was a wonderful time. Chad, what else are you crazy? What are you up to, you crazy guys? Or what else we got here?
We're just let's see. We got into the game birds earlier in the season, and we'll I guess talk about that on another one. But we did let's see. Some chucker hunting, some grouse hunting, and then the duck seasons have been going on for a little while, so we finally got into that. And dove season's about over. It's getting too cold. They're moving south. But yeah, a little bit of that. Counting the minutes until we get a little bit of a bear season, and then we focus on lion. But the jackrabbits. Like right now, our problem is we had a pretty good rain year, man. So the brush is still a little thick, like they're out there and it's cool enough, but the vegetation hasn't died yet, so as soon as that goes away, then we'll be doing pretty good, but that's the schedule.
So when you have a good rain year, when there's like a lot of maybe more low level bush or ground coverage or whatever, do they tend to run less and stay hidden a little bit more?
It's hard for the dogs to keep eyes on them because there's less open patches where they can see from a distance, So like they're still fast enough, and it might even impede the speed just a little bit of the jackrabbit. But once they turn behind two bushes, you could be as fast as a bolt of lightning. If you can't see what you're chasing, you just end up running blind and you take a wrong turn. So right now they're still fast enough. They could catch it if they could just keep their eyes on it. But that's the problem right now. But it's getting close. We were down to like 28 the other day. So as long as it just keeps up, we get a few more of those, it all start to lay flat. And as soon as the first snow hits, it's game on, But but until then, shooting a lot of feathers, a lot of retriever work, a lot of pointer dog work, stuff like that.
You got down to 28 degrees?
Yeah.
Man, that's early in the year for Mississippi, huh?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's pretty cold for northern Florida,
Yeah. Ideally, you want wide open grasslands if you're hunting jackrabbits with sight hounds. That's like what you're looking for exactly. So, you want to get out to like big prairie country, basically. So not exactly like northern Florida.
Let me ask this: so how? I don't know. If you don't hunt, and then in specific sections of hunting, I feel like people would have zero awareness that people still hunt with dogs. Like I was aware that people ran bears with dogs, but beyond that, until Chad told me, I don't know, a couple years ago, that he was running sight hounds, I didn't even know that was a thing. So how does one come to get involved in that just as like a hobby?
I feel like it kind of varies person by person, man. I had like a dog that's not a sight hound at all, and I just kind of like used her like one, and it was really fun. And she was horrible at it, right? But it was fun. And then my brother was like, let's get greyhounds. And I was like, all right, yeah, let's get greyhounds. And then it's kind of been history ever since. I got into those, and then I met some fellow hunters because apparently here in New Mexico, there's a huge culture for that here. So, I met a bunch of people that do it, and they kind of catapulted me into it. And here I am, and it's really fun. What I love about it is, man, it's just pure action. It's, they keep the action right in front of you. So, like, scent hounds can range really far out to find their game and then, trail it for a long way and then bay it and then hopefully tree it. But my dogs, the jackrabbit jumps like right in front of you, and then they're running 45 miles an hour, and then they either have him caught or not in like 3 minutes. So it's pretty fun.
Dude, I think especially in the Middle East, I think they've been hunting with sight hounds for like thousands of years, man.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And 2 of my dogs, their bloodlines are from the Middle East. So they're straight from that stock.
And so are they Salukis as well?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
What was the first dog that I feel like I would feel so bad for your first dog, not a sight hound, but like, hey, go get those jackrabbits. It's like, that's a tough job for an English bulldog.
Yeah, she chased a lot and caught very, very, very few without the assistance of a 22.
That's got to be so demoralizing to be like and you're like a sight pug, and you're out there chasing you got to kind of hope that the jackrabbit like trips on its own, or maybe you plink it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
give it like a fight.
You said it best, and I actually want to make this a T-shirt. Dogs are really smart, but also dogs are really dumb. That's what I want on a shirt, because she just chased him every time with everything she had, 100%, until she was a pretty old lady. And so, yeah, she was just waiting for me to give it a plink first, and then she would pick him up and fetch him. That's all she was really good for. She could catch him at night.
She gives you that look back over her shoulder, like, please shoot it.
we had a buddy, one of my best buddies. He had a hound that he had trained to look for jackrabbits, and I'm not even joking. Several times the jackrabbit would get up right in front of her and take off running, and she would stop and turn and like look at us to see if the sight hounds were coming, like the greyhounds, and then she'd keep going, which was pretty funny. We always laughed about that. So that's exactly what she was doing, we think, without like getting too deep into what a dumb dog thinks. So.
My favorite part is that once they start running, so a lot of times, especially if it's a confident jack, it'll only run as fast as it has to. So like it'll be somebody kind of like what you're saying, Jeff, with like a Pomeranian or whatever. And they're like, my dog almost caught it, because they'll run right out in front and be like, I don't want to get sweaty today. There's no way this thing's going to catch me. I'm just going to stay 30 feet ahead of it until it has a brain aneurysm and falls over dead, you know? So a lot of times they'll just go that fast. Their ears are up like giant wind scoops, and they're still just like skipping along, like no threat. Stroll. Yeah, you know. And you know, you always kind of ask them. They're like, "Oh yeah, cool. It didn't turn it at all, right?" They're like, "No, it was just in a straight line. It couldn't turn at all." And whenever they feel pressure, that's the first thing they do is these hairpin 90-degree turns, you know. But they're like, "Yeah, you almost caught him. Ran him like in a straight line 2 miles out, you know, like my dog was wearing it out." I'm like, good job, man.
This is an animal that eats there's an animal that eats like newspaper and never drinks water. So it's only going to exert itself as hard as it really needs to. Yeah. So,
Yep.
That was basically how I was with that horse when I was chasing after you.
You're right. You almost had it.
Oh my god. Oh man. Well, this is one of the best segments of All Mixed Up I think I've ever recorded. My face hurts. Jeff, this was awesome. Thank you so much for joining us, buddy. If you have any last words for the Houndsman XP world, this is the perfect time to do it, brother.
I do. I have one last story from that same weekend hunting with Chad.
Shoot. Do it.
Just to highlight what a psychopath that he can be compared to like a normal, well-adjusted human. So it was deer season in Louisiana when I was coming up there, and I told him, "Hey, I'm going to buy a tag," and he was like, "Yeah, you can hunt." He had I think 10 acres, and so I can hunt in the back part of my property, no problem. And so I've got this rickety saddle gun of his. 30-30, I think it was.
That's right.
With the bent front sight posts.
That's old Lucky.
That's old Lucky. Yeah. Oh my god.
Old Lucky. I was lucky I didn't see any deer, because I would have shot his hoof off probably with that thing.
Oh my god.
So I dropped my tag because I wanted to get a deer too, because I thought again I thought we was going to be in a tree waiting on some pigs to come around a bait pile. So I was like, in my head, I'm like, there's no guarantee I'm going to get a pig, right? So I'm bringing a big cooler. I want to make sure I have room for a deer just in case we don't get any pigs, because there's no guarantee they come to our bait pile. Because again, I didn't do it. And so we're out there and we're running the fence line on this. He had brought a quad. We're running the fence line on this quad, just making sure there's no trash that we left behind, and also making sure none of the fencing had gotten busted up by any pigs or anything. And we just randomly see this deer out in front of us on this trail, like on the trail that runs along the edge of the fence line. And as we're riding, he kicks back over. I'm riding, bitch. I'm just holding on to his waist. I'm holding on to his waist like a high school girlfriend, basically. I'm sitting back there super emasculated because of this hunting experience. And now I got to, ride in the back seat. but I'm holding his waist, and he turns over, deer. And I look, and yeah, that's correct. That's a deer. Good job. I just thought, hey, cool. So, saw a deer. Pretty decent sized doe, I think it was. And he goes, did you still want a deer? And I'm like, yeah, I'll take a deer. It's more meat, right? Maybe we'll ride back to camp, grab a gun, or maybe send dogs on it. I don't know. I don't know what he's got in mind. And I go, yeah, I still want a deer. And he dumps the throttle on this freaking thing, cuts through like the bushes, driving at this deer, and tries to hit it with his four-wheeler so we can maybe break some and then get out of his throat like a psychopath from Vietnam or something. And we just barely missed this deer. But this dude drove 80 miles an hour into these bushes trying to hit this deer. And it's just more PTSD, man. More PTSD.
You were screaming while you were screaming while your ponytails were blowing in the wind.
Yeah, the pigtails are back here. I'm just like, dude, why do I hang out with this guy, man?
Oh, it's hilarious.
Good time. Good times. Well, man, you got to come out with us again. You gotta, we need to get you underneath a bear or a lion, and maybe we could shoot on down to Seth and run some jackrabbits too, man.
I've been meaning to get a hold of you because we're getting ready to bid our vacations for next year. So I got a ton of vacations saved up, so I can set aside a week. We just got to talk about like what the best time of year would be for me to go. And I might even have some buddies that might want to go. Because I would like to do to them what you did to me, which is woefully unprepare them for the experience they're about to have.
But see, it makes for these great stories. If it wasn't for as little introduction as possible, it wouldn't be half as exciting, like.
Yeah, their therapists are all going to love these stories from me.
Oh my God. Well, great times, man. Let's do it. I'd like to new hunting experiences with Jeff on Houndsman XP.
Heck yeah, dude. I'm in. This has been great. Jeff, thank you for joining us, man. This is this is definitely one of the funniest interviews I've had in all my years. So, man, this was great. Thank you so much, buddy. Appreciate it.
Good hanging with you guys. I appreciate you guys having me on, man. Always good talking to Chad, and I appreciate meeting you as well. I wish I was a man like you guys, man.
Oh, hush.
We'll catch you later, brother. Thank you so much.
Here, boys.
You know what app I use on my phone more than any other app besides the podcast app to listen to this here podcast? I use OnX. OnX Maps is the most comprehensive mapping system for hunters on the market today. I use it all the time. When I was in New Mexico, I was looking at 40,000 acres of ranch that I needed to learn. I flip open OnX and just start studying the map. When I'm riding trails, I put the tracking app on. It helps me get around in strange country. I could mark water sources, food sources, bear sign, just all kinds of options within OnX. You need to check out OnX Maps by going to houndsmanxp.com. Click on the link on our sponsor page. You'll go right to OnX Maps, and when you check out, enter the code HXP20 and you will get 20% off of your order. Know where you stand with OnX.
So there we go, huh?
Oh my God. You guys, first of all, I want to tell you, this happened right after the recording, okay? And I'm sad I didn't hit the record button for it, but it is what it is. Chad, do you mind if I tell the story about his nickname?
Yeah, go for it.
Oh my gosh. Okay, you guys. So he had mentioned that he was a fighter, right? And so he was in the fighting organization called Bellator. And his name in Bellator was Jeff Scary Nickname Nader. And I was trying not to laugh hysterically while I was reading that while we were interviewing him. I was like, this guy's nickname is seriously Scary Nickname. And he told us Oh,
he's just super confident and comfortable in his own skin, you know. So everyone's like, I'm Jackhammer, I'm Bone Crusher. He's like, ooh, I'm Scary Nickname, you know, and he'll go stomp everybody anyway. It's hilarious. It's very Jeff, very verbally not imposing, doesn't, you know, like, but then when it's time, we'll, you know, we'll make it happen. So
I need a t-shirt that says Houndsman XP. Dogs are smart, but they're also really dumb. Yep. That would be perfect. That would be perfect. And then I'll put underneath it a little hyphen, Scary Nickname.
There you go.
Oh, man. Chad, great job, buddy. That was a great guest. Everybody stay tuned. Check out the Patreon page, you guys. We actually recorded another segment for this episode this month, but this episode ran pretty long. So we ran, as always, we have continued episodes or continuations of the All Mixed Up episodes on the Patreon page. So go check out some of the content there, you guys. We got some more awesome stuff there at the Patreon page, and we got some exclusive first person interviews, if you will, just chats with Ed and Chris from our trip in the Gila that we were just talking about earlier in this episode, straight from their mouth about what they love about their style of hound hunting and what they think about New Mexico at the time. So there's a lot of cool stuff there as always, you guys. But as far as I can think, Chad, I think we've covered everything we need to. But if you have any last words, brother, this is it. If you have any last words.
Not really, man. Can't wait for the next one. We got a bunch of hunting. It's here. Hunting season's here, man.
I know.
Hounds
I can't
coming.
wait.
Side hounds are coming out. Scent hounds are coming out. Here comes all the good content. We made it. We made it.
I got some sneak. Oh, and here's another thing for the patrons. Sneak peek, guys. I got some things in the works that I think is going to change the game for awesome content. So stay tuned for that as well, patrons. And if you're not a patron, check us out, you guys. Go to houndsmanxp.com, click on the Support Us tab, and you'll see us right there for Patreon. Join us, you guys. There's so much cool content there. Videos, recipes, tons and tons of tailgate talks, which are like bonus little mini podcasts between 20 minutes to an hour. I got all kinds of really rad folks there, and lots of cool stuff. And it's a little bit more of a casual, more open interface where we can kind of talk about anything we want. So go check us out, you guys. And thanks again for tuning into All Mixed Up. Let's hunt them hard and treat them like heroes.
That's right.